Welcome to the CryptoWise channel. My name is Dave. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. If you're new to the channel, we talk about macro technical analysis, facts and the charts, staying cool, calm, and focused. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin's short-term and long-term outlook and just give an update on that. So let's dive into it. In a previous video, I talked about, in this one here, Bitcoin bear flag confirmed, incoming 53K. I talked about on the larger time frame of the weekly time frame that we had this bear flag breakdown. So we have this move here, this impulse from January that broke down very strongly with lots of volume, confirming the trend is strong in that direction. Then we had a consolidation, decreasing volume, and we reached our 50 EMA that we talked about on the 2 weekly as major resistance. And we finally broke down this bear flag that I've been talking about for a few months. We broke down the bear flag, confirming this is the direction still. We closed a weekly candle below the range low. The range low depicted by these candle closes on the weekly time frame. And I mentioned in the previous video that if we maintain a weekly candle close below this level, that the pressure is down and we're likely to keep going further down, which so far we have maintained that. We did see a bit of chop around a little bit. We did push above it slightly, that level, but we ended up getting rejected and closed below. The following week, which is this week currently, we did see a move up and back down, and now we're finally breaking below this prior low, which is increasing the likelihood and showing that the pressure is still down and the volume's increasing with 3 days left on this candle, and the volume is almost as big as the prior week. So it means you add a few more days, it'll probably be sitting around here somewhere. So it's showing some strength, maybe a lot more, who knows, depending on what happens. But from a weekly standpoint, right now the expectation is still that we see more downside. Now that we're breaking below the prior low of the consolidation of this rising channel formation, it's showing that not only the rising channel formation low, but the low from the initial impulse down, it's showing that sellers are in control, pressure is downward, and that the price is likely to move in that direction still. So the likelihood is within a couple weeks we should be down in this area here, somewhere between, or have reached this level rather, within a couple weeks, between 54 and around 49,500. I would say it's even possible that we could even wick into these lower levels at 47,158 due to the prior level of support here at around 47K. So I'd even widen the range like this. So the original range is depicted by this candle close zone here. Okay, so if anything, it starts a little higher around 54,900. I doubt that it's going to stop there, given this is a major support level. If we break through, it would be way more likely that we see a strong move to the downside to reach somewhere between 54 and about 47. Okay. That's the current expectation. If we, for some reason, bounce out of here and we see a weekly candle close back above here, then it's likely that we see more consolidation before continuing down into that zone. So right now, downward pressure expectation is that this box gets tagged somehow. Moving on to the shorter term time frames. Hey guys, that bear market bottom is coming really soon. And if you're interested to know what it is that I'm buying, which coins, and at what levels, I built something just for you. This is also something I'm telling my one-on-one students. and take it for somebody who's actually timed the bear market bottom and the bull market top of last cycle. So here it is. We have all the coins that I'm purchasing, exact buying zones, limit orders, and what we would be doing if those limit orders don't get tagged. Limit orders is so that you can put in orders, and no matter what, if the price gets to that point, the buying will happen even in your sleep. 2 risk profiles if you're aggressive or conservative. Here's a preview of what it looks like, and a drop down menu to show you all the different levels and price points for the purchases. And if you're interested and you need support as well, you can actually book a one-on-one private call with me to help you set up anything to do with these limit orders or this package, or maybe something else that you need support with on your crypto journey. Link is in the description below, and I will see you soon. Peace. So one thing I see here is that it's been following a downtrend, the structure of a downtrend, but not the uptrend so much. What I mean by that is this consolidation here is choppy, wavy, yeah, it's kind of choppy to the upside. It looks very corrective, okay? It's what happens in a downtrend. We get moves down that are strong and then moves up that are corrective looking, right? We get big moves down, upwards corrective, choppy, ugly, right? In a downtrend, okay? Big move down, choppy, ugly. And then down, but still back up, but still choppy, ugly. It's not holding structure basically as well. So common thing to see is that when the trend direction is confirming, then prior levels don't get broken. So it's pretty simple. Here, for example, boom, we broke below this level, right? Then it wouldn't break back above it. Why? Because the trend is down. Down we go, right? It already knew that before it happened. We didn't until we saw it. But you can make that analysis by looking at the structure. So what do we have here? Well, we can see, for example, here there was a structure there with the candles. It broke down. It didn't break back above. I mean, it did over here, but that was temporarily. And in fact, all it did was meet this level and then broke down. So in terms of the shorter term time frame where we're in now, like this zone here, what I'm showing you is this, right? Levels, when the trend is in a certain direction, prior levels that held as support don't typically break back above, especially when it's gonna keep breaking down in that direction. So we have that solid level here. Price came up, got rejected, broke below. So now that support level has turned into resistance, and it will respect the resistance. Why? Because the trend is down. Down we go. Where's the next level of support and resistance? There, right? Once we broke that level, that support now turned into resistance. Up we go, back test as resistance when we continue down. So it could very well likely keep doing that all the way down until it reaches a stopping point. Sometimes it'll go very aggressively. It'll go very aggressively down, and you don't see as much of that choppy, wavy stuff, back testing structure on the way down. Like here, where it's like a straight line, there's like a little blip, and then it just goes lower, and then chop around and it goes lower again. Sometimes when it's in a very strong downtrend, it just gets these little pushes up and keeps going. So I don't know how it's going to play out, but right now, shorter term time frame, we can see that the prior level we didn't close a 4-hour candle below. We're very close to. We have been breaking below prior levels and back testing them as we go down, confirming the trend is in that direction. So if we break down and close a 4-hour candle below here, I would suspect this to greatly accelerate. If for whatever reason we stall out here and make our way back up, my expectation is that it could just be a temporary move that we break down. If for whatever reason we break this level, then that would increase the probability that if we close a 4-hour candle above this level, because it acted as resistance, increases the probability that we're going to move up into the next resistance, which is this downtrend, right? It's always an if-then situation. So that's the shorter term time frame. I don't see any evidence that we're going to bounce here at the moment, other than it just stalling, right? But stalling doesn't mean that it'll bounce. You need to see candle structure change. So from this point, pressure is still down. Expectation is still that we see more downside going into even the weekend, and even into the weekend, we can see it continue down. So, all right, guys, hope this is helpful. If you enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Appreciate the support. All right, see you next video. Peace.